Hello everyone, and after our brutal thrashing Super Fangs and Powerful Paras last week, I am back with another game of the VBL-S, and at this point I am risking not making playoffs if I don't win at least one of my last two games, so that's this week and next week. So the hope is to win this game, and if not, win the game after that, though both of them are challenging matchups that are not necessarily straightforward to navigate, which is definitely a concern that I'm having. So my opponent has a lot of really strong guys. I think Ting-Lu and Palafin are absolutely top tiers. Hatterene is a very consistent support Pokemon. Salazzle's a mon that, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I think it has very, very strong potential that is often quite easy to reach. Dragalge is a very good Trick Room abuser to pair with Hatterene, as well as theoretically Toedscool as a Trick Room setter. Toedscool's got the Rage Powder, which can in situations be challenging or otherwise annoying to deal with. Corviknight is a mon that, if left unchecked, it has a lot of good support options, as well as the ability to, throughout time, become very strong in and of itself, which is something that Ting-Lu can absolutely enable it to do. Ditto is a very shenanigan heavy mon that it can definitely cause some difficulty. Toxapex is okay support with Toxic Spikes and Wide Guard, though I don't think I'm necessarily the best person to bring Toxic Spikes against. Certainly in terms of structure, and as well as the fact that I have several Pokemon that are not affected by them, which have, at least at least these four have been coming, maybe more so than Noivern has. And then Lechonk I don't think is a real Pokemon, unfortunately, but Staraptor definitely is. It's pretty strong, it's pretty fast, it does have access to a fast Tailwind, and it can use Intimidate to mitigate the damage output of my physical Pokemon, which pairs well with Ting-Lu, because if you don't know, Ting-Lu's signature ability is Vessels of Ruin. It reduces the special attack of all Pokemon except for itself as an aura effect. It is pretty notorious for people who haven't been following regular VGC for clicking Fisher, because it can often get through 6, 7, or even all 8 of those power points, and at that point become favoured to hit not just 1 but 2 Fishers. Outside of the Oko move, Cheese, it's also just very strong. Like, we've also seen stuff with like a Choice Band with a couple ground immunities and an Orthworm, and that stuff has been a bit nefarious, a bit insidious. It's a Pokemon that can easily go into short game as well as easily go into long games. I actually have no idea if Toedscool learns Leech Seed, which is not something I'd considered before immediately right now. This team does not necessarily have a great electric matchup outside of these two, though obviously they theoretically can be quite sticky matchups for my electric types to run into, with mitigating the special attack of my Pokemon, as well as the fact that Corviknight means that this is definitely a challenging matchup for a specially oriented Toxtricity. So that's definitely stuff I've been keeping in mind, though outside of those two, it is only Dragalge that they have as a electric resist, though it does wall the secondary stab of both Tox and Rotom, of poison and fire are both resisted by it. So Dragalge can be a bit of a sticky Pokemon if you're not dealing with it, especially if it does have that extra support on top of its already very good special defense from Ting-Lu's Vessels of Ruin, though its own damage is generally special, so maybe we'll be seeing physical from it. Interestingly, this team is actually relatively ground weak, so Toedscool is technically a ground resist, but yes, Staraptor and Corviknight are not necessarily the most consistent ground checks. That said, offensively, Palafin can do a lot to scare off opposing ground types, but it can be a bit annoying for them if they're getting peppered by spread moves. So that's definitely something that I have factored into mind. Disquake then, it looks pretty appealing. It's something that I'm definitely considering. Toedscool is a bit annoying for it, but luckily, theoretically, the Earthquake Pokemon learns Aerial Ace, and the Discharge Pokemon does learn Overheat for it, though neither is necessarily instantly amazing. I'm starting to think at this point that I may have not paid enough respect to Toedscool in preparation, but I'm just hoping not to see it at team preview. I feel like they have a lot of Pokemon that are all quite difficult to consider and take into account, and I'm just hoping Toedscool doesn't show up as a result. It may prove to be pernicious. Though I do have some stuff which can, reduce its ability to be quite the menace it wants to be. But yeah, so speed tier wise, Noivern and Dugtrio are faster than their entire team naturally. And they don't have any speed control outside of the 2 aforementioned Tailwinds and the 2 aforementioned Trick Room setters. Beyond that, like, they don't have a great Icy Wind user, because Palafin is their best one in terms of speed control for that matter. And then theoretically Toxapex, though it's not great at abusing it. And Palafin often is going to get more value from its other moves, as we saw with it, like, in my previous season, Palafin often appreciates clicking offensive moves because they do significant amounts of damage. Yeah, so Palafin can be quite difficult for, again, those of you who are not aware or maybe don't remember. It has this form that is not very strong, and it has a fairly low base stat total, but after it switches out and comes back in, it gets a very, very high base stat total. So luckily we have something which can prevent it from switching out, theoretically. So this is what my team is looking like right now. So one of the first things, well, not one of the first things, one of the things that I considered in the medium term, because I think this was the first set, this was the second set, this was the third set, and then this was the fourth set, and then it was this and this. No, Tox Hoppip was before Dug. So Dug, I suppose, was towards the end of the prep, but it was a very key part of my plans. Arena Trap stops anything that isn't like Terra Ghosted or... what's the other thing? Terra Ghosted or Shed Shell or Scarf flip turned into the right slot from switching Palafin out, and thus makes it difficult for Palafin to take advantage of its stronger form if it dies while it's in its weaker form. So the idea is I can theoretically have Dug and then like a Scarf Rotom here, and then in a very challenging situation, I've got Stomping Tantrum, but then if they turn out to be quite bulky, I can even Helping Hand and Terra Electric into it, especially if Ting-Lu is out on the field as well. And being able to remove Palafin is obviously very good, though theoretically it can allow Dug to remove other Pokemon as well. I have a Choice Band Grimmsnarl and the Scarf Rotom here, and the idea is if I can trick their Pokemon into a support move or a status move or a setup move or even protect, and then keep Dugtrio in, that Pokemon is a dead slot until Dug dies. And with a Focus Sash and Protect, it can be difficult to have Dug die, as well as theoretically also Rock Slide. So the idea is that Dug, just by being on the team, can function as an Oko move, which is cool. I then also have this Toxtricity set, so I've brought back the Technician Trailblaze from week 2, week 3, I forget, with the Shift Gear set, this time with Hoppip Rage Powder, and the idea is I can Terra Grass, and it does a fairly significant amount of damage with that Max Attack Adamant there. Yeah, it is a good amount of damage, and with Terra Grass not only am I taking the Earthquakes or Stomping Tantrums from Ting-Lu better, but also theoretically a Jet Punch from Palafin if I, because the Hoppip Toxtricity lead is not a Dug lead, so it is something you have to worry about. But yeah, theoretically a Scarf Palafin can flip turn into Rotom faster than I can Thunderbolt it, and that is always a bit of a mess. I don't know why you're Terra Ground. You should not be Terra Ground. I don't know what Terra you should be. The ground does not seem like the right one. If it's offense I want, Terra Rock would almost be better, even though neither of these moves are particularly strong as offensive options. My opponent has just arrived, so I should make the decision. Yeah. Sorry, I should just quickly go through the rest. Covert Cloak. Clover Cloak. Tauros lets me do something I forget about. Lets me deal with Salazzle with theoretically like a Hoppip Tauros lead, where I can Helping Hand, or even Dug, I suppose, Helping Hand and Terra Water to get through a not Max Fizz Def Hatterene, assuming it's not Sash, and prevent him from setting Trick Room. Yeah. I guess I'll just keep ground for the offensive option. No, Terra Ghost still makes some sense, right? Terra Ghost is probably better just because it does give me that fake immunity. let's see what my opponent actually brings. Because either way, it's going to be scary. I'm hoping to see Lechonk. I assume... Okay, game 1. Okay, fairly standard stock. Was that no Corv? That was no Corv, okay. Oh, yep, game 2. I keep clicking that singles. Game 3. Okay, and let's get this off. Okay. Good luck, have fun to you as well. Okay, this just stress. Okay. Tox is annoying. Not Tox. Staraptor is annoying. No Toadschool's good. I kind of want to do the Doug Rotom lead. I think I'm going with the Doug Rotom lead. And then I'll bring Grimmsnarl and Tauros in the back. Because Tox is hard-walled by Dragalge. I mean, as is Rotom, but yeah. I meant to mention that I do have Earthquake for that aforementioned ground weakness. Obviously, better with Hoppip and Rotom than it is with my other Pokemon, especially the Abandoned Grimmsnarl. But it's an option. And it's not a bad option. Oh, yeah, it was a very difficult sort of thing to try and figure out how to navigate both a Salazzle Hatterene and a Staraptor Hatterene lead. So, let's see what they bring. Staraptor Hatterene, okay. That was one of the things that it was difficult to. I'm starting to think that they might just be going for, they might just go for Final Gambit here. Because that is scary, and they are Intimidate, not Reckless. Intimidate is obviously not, like, shocking. Oh, she would Ghost now. Yeah, I mean, if this is Final Gambit, I think that's okay. I'd just go for Rock Slide to try and prevent... I will go for Rock Slide to try and prevent my opponent setting Trick Room with a flinch, and I'm going to click Trick. Because if they Final Gambit Doug or whatever, it's like fine, right? Okay, they switched. Oh my gosh. Okay, they were specs. Interesting. That did... Okay, bringing Ting-Lu in with your special attacker is always an interesting play. Okay, leftovers. Okay, leftovers. I really want a Helping Hand and Thunderbolt into the Hatterene, though I don't know how that is going to do in terms of damage. So, I don't have to worry about them setting Trick Room. I think. Okay. Rotom... I'm just going to assume, like... I feel like it's a fairly safe assumption that Ting-Lu does not mind this choice specs overheat that much. It doesn't. Okay, Hatterene... I gotta click doubles, gotta click Vessel of Ruin. Ideally I would put it to level 50. So Thunderbolt is doing 49 to 58. How much did Rock Slide do? I crit for 26. That suggests that it's offensive, which is not shocking considering that it is specs. Right? Okay, so that could possibly be a low roll with no bulk, or there could be some physical bulk there as well, but it's unlikely to be a particularly strong degree of special bulk. So if we go back here to the specs, it seems like a Stomping Tantrum and maybe even a Volt Switch might pick up. Ah, yeah, no, sorry, being at -1 ignored my Intimidate. I'm sorry, being... Okay, it looks like a Terra Volt Switch combined with a Stomping Tantrum might get it. But honestly, I'm thinking I might just go for a regular Volt Switch and Protect. And just bring in Grim. Because they're locked into Psychic. So Hatterene is useless. But if Hatterene's useless, I should lock Ting-Lu in as well. They're both locked into moves that are walled by Grimmsnarl. I want to bring Grimmsnarl in this slot for sure, 100% of the time. And I think I Volt Switch into Hatterene. No, I don't want to bring Tauros in. I guess I want to keep this in, so I should just Thunderbolt the Hatterene. No, I see, like, I want to Volt into Dug, but that's very difficult to do, I think. I feel like I'm best off just having this die. I mean, I bring in Grimm 100% of the time, and if I'm lucky, they double into Rotom here. I think I just Thunderbolt 5. Oh, that's crazy. Who would have known? Okay. Okay, but they can switch both their slots, which is annoying. But how effectively can they switch? And does Thunderbolt pick up? Thunderbolt picks up if Ting-Lu isn't alive. Do I have to Terra Thunderbolt? I can Overheat. Overheat's bad into Dragalge. I'm definitely want to go for the Choice Band Spirit Break here. Like, that's like level 100 attack, you know? Grimmsnarl, Ting-Lu. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good damage. Yeah, the Choice Band Spirit Break here definitely makes sense. I could chuck an Overheat there, but I think it still makes sense to Overheat into the Hatterene just to remove it, because then they have to Throat Chop to KO this slot. Does that actually make sense? I'm thinking hard about all of the things that I have just like default assumed. I'm still going to go for the Overheat into Hatterene. Okay, that was quite bad. Let's see how much this Spirit Break does to see how physically defensive it is. That seems like not very physically defensive. Okay, I can bring Dug in. That was a really interesting play on their behalf. I think I want to Terra Dark to live a Dragalge. Though, obviously, I should calc whether that lives Dragalge first, right? Actually, no, this mon isn't relevant, so it's more interesting whether I can KO Dragalge. Spirit Break to 63 to 75. It took 20 from Overheat. Okay, so that's just that it's max attack. Sorry. That's not a lot of bulk or something. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what my words are supposed to be saying right now. But yeah, it seems very unlikely this will pick up. I suppose I don't care much about Ting-Lu because both my other guys in the back wall it. I'm in a rough situation, but it's not too bad. So I should just remove Dragalge. Does Rock Slide pick that up? That remaining bit. 16, that should. So the Rock Slide gives me an out, as well as more damage into that slot. Okay, that's really bad. I mean, I have to just Spirit Break an Earthquake here. I think I've lost. Yeah, I think I've lost. Because Staraptor should be able to beat me from this position. Yeah. It's interesting that they went for the preservation there. They gonna Tailwind? Yeah. No. Did I misplay? No. I don't know. Maybe I should have gone for the hit into Dragalge. I mean, Wave Crash picks that up. So I need to win the speed tie, right? But that's fine. I can always Terra as well. I'm going to Spirit Break. But should I be Spirit Breaking the Hatterene? No. I'm going to Spirit Break, and I am going to Protect. Or am I going to Terra Wave Crash? They're going to Degleam. So I need to pick Hatterene up regardless of what happens this turn. The Earthquake doing 20% to myself is obviously unfortunate. But I think it was still correct. Okay. Don't get a KO here, Staraptor, whatever you do. They brought in. Okay, interesting. I wish I had Jet, but I don't. I mean, if it's faster than me, it doesn't have as much bulk as it has, so it's not faster than me. So I Spirit Break here. Can this KO either of my Pokemon? I don't think so. This guy's the more challenging mon. But it's also the only one that can protect. I mean, you definitely pick up both, and you definitely pick up both, right? So if I pick up both with both, I mean, yeah. Wish I was locked into soccer a little bit. Removing you means I'm most likely to get another hit. Sorry, removing you with Tauros, specifically. Okay. I don't know if I live. I can turn a first level ruin now. Well, certainly not without Terra and at level 100. 67 to 80. It looks like I live. So I should go for the Wave Crash. Okay, cool. I live that pretty safely. GG. Woo! Okay, that was tough. That was really tough. That's Specs lead. That does leave me wanting to bring the Hoppip Tox lead. I don't even have to Terra. Okay. Hoppip, Toxtricity, and then I think it's Tauros and Grimm, to be honest. I think it might be Tauros and Grimm. Rotom is not amazing here. Grimm is very good. Yeah, I think it's Tauros and Grimm. My thought process here is, yeah, this lead is more difficult, especially since I know they cannot set up Trick Room. I think they're pretty likely to go for Tailwind, but I don't care. Obviously I wish I wasn't getting intimidated, but you know, that is what it is. Also, I was calculating Reckless damage, which they didn't have Reckless, because we've seen Intimidate. Okay, I have a lead specifically for this, and then they don't bring that one. I want to sleep out of the Palafin slot and go for Shift Gear, to be honest. No, I should sleep out of the Salazzle slot, it's more likely to stay in. Whatever they click with, like whichever one they fake out, I want to get value. I don't love letting Palafin switch out, but you know, I didn't lead Doug. Rotom. Oh. Okay! What the hell? That's so much damage. What? We know it's not Specs. Because the other one's Specs. Is that just how much it does? Okay, can you stop being level 100? It's actually very immature of you to just be wrong. Heat Wave doing 42. So it is item boosted. So this... That doesn't even fit 64. So they're not lifeable. They're modest? Yeah, no, modest makes sense. Yeah, no, that's true. Modest does make sense. But they're also item boosted, which is good for me to know. And then they have this offensive Hatterene, which I think that Grim can break it with Terra. Not super reliably, but the alternative is nothing, right? So I think I have to Wild Charge this and Terra Crunch the Hatterene. Oh, it's Charcoal. Frisk. Yeah, okay, cool. Frisk is helpful. Yeah. So modest, yeah, modest. I should have realized it would be modest. Good sucker, actually. Again, wrong level. Okay, so I do need Terra to get the reliable KO with Sucker. So I think I Terra Sucker and I go for Gunk. Probably lose. But this prevents them advancing a game plan, right? Okay, so Terra Sucker doesn't get the KO. Oh, never mind, it still does. Okay, cool. It was Sash. Do I get the poison? It's not looking like I got the poison. I can always Sucker the Hatterene anyways. I can no longer Terra Lamingtons. This is bad. Yeah. Died a Jet Punch. I mean, I don't know, man. I had the exact like counter lead to the lead that they brought, and then they're just like, okay, well, what if I just ignore that? I guess I Sucker the Palafin. No, Suckering Palafin's terrible. This mon is a dead slot unless I can pivot it. So I guess Suckering Staraptor makes sense, then I can bring in Tauros, and then I can bring Grimmsnarl out into Tox. Did it reveal Protect last game? No. So I could still Sucker it. I don't think that makes sense though. I can't even protect you anymore. So they're pretty likely to Brave Bird into this slot. Which kind of makes me still want to Sucker, but I don't think it actually makes sense. I don't know, maybe I should still Sucker. Yeah, Protect. I can do the Tox thing next turn. What the hell? Terra Fairy? So they going for Terra Blast? They went for Bulk Up. Okay, well that's scary, because all my guys are physical. But, you know, if I ignore that, it's not that scary. Terra Fairy is very confusing to me, to be honest. I should just play to my diff out, right? To differential. Just double down the Hatterene. Because they, I expect them to win, regardless of what play I go for. Or do I play for the crit out? Okay, I can bring in Toxtricity and Protect. No, I need to bring Tox into this slot, so I Sucker and then bring Tox in, because I need to get Intimidate. More than I need, Okay, let's see what they go for. They do go Terra Blast, okay, and do they click Draining Kiss, and it gets a KO because it specs. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I have to just Protect and then Wave Crash. Oh, it didn't even pick up. Okay. That's true, it does need Helping Hand to get through otherwise. Okay, GG. I mean, that seems like, you know, I pivoted, but they pivoted like even harder. They're Charcoal, Modest, Hoppip. I do have no idea whether that makes, like... I mean, maybe I should have prepped for Modest Charcoal. It was a roll anyways, of course. It was a 37% chance to pick up. 37% chance to pick up, eh? I mean, that sleep would have been pretty good. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, good luck, have fun. I just dislike rolls so much. I feel like I've been on the downside of really dumb rolls recently. I had a game that nearly, that like I was put in a really bad situation that was like super locked up, if not for the fact that my opponent got a 12%, which is, you know, it's very frustrating. And, you know, I could have put more special defense in, but I have the physical defense for some reason, and I have speed for some reason, but instead I have this spread. And, you know, if they were life orb, it wouldn't have been a roll, but they couldn't possibly be life orb, because that would have been too, you know, something. Dragalge never revealed an item, okay. Real protect, but I don't think we expect an assault mist here anyways. So do I just go back to Doug and Rotom? Because I feel like I might. I want a Terra Rock Slide. I'm sorry, I want to Terra Ghost Rock Slide and Volt Switch into Staraptor. They should fake out into, yeah, but they don't, so. Okay, just hit this, please. Who do I want to bring in? X-Taurus is the best follow-up. Cool, I hit. I would be very surprised if Stomping Tantrum didn't pick up. I feel like that fake out was dumb. They hadn't seen an item on Doug, had they? No, they hadn't. So that could have been Covert Cloak as well. Okay. I know I need Helping Hand, Terra Water to get through like a Fizdef one, but do I need the Terra Water to get through just max HP? I forget how Fizdef it is as well. It's not. Okay, it looks like a yes. I'm going to need both Helping Hand and Terra Water. But Salazzle can't get a KO, most likely. Oh, I've already terrored. That's true. You know what? That is correct. I did already click Terra. Yeah, I think in that situation, I want to Stomping Tantrum the Salazzle and protect. Or I could go hard into Grim, but I kind of expect them to clean. I can get information for relatively low risk at this point. Terra Ghost was a good change. Okay, let's see what they go for here. Alright, Psychic. Well, you can protect and you can't. You are locked into Psychic. I'm pretty tempted to Helping Hand Earthquake, to be honest. But it does redirect a move into my own guy. I should just reset, right? They're very unlikely, I think, to Sludge Wave into this slot. This did protect last turn as well, yeah. I didn't get anything out of that protect, mind you. I could go Rotom and Earthquake. I think I will, actually. Oh, the Terra Ground, interesting. Oof, let's see. Do they? Okay, they did. They are Life Orb on that slot, that's not surprising. Yeah, I think I win if I just double Hatterene here. Or do I need to double Hatterene? I've got a Hatterene in Calc. Does Grim pick up? Okay, it looks like Grim is unlikely to pick up. So I should crunch Dragalge and Thunderbolt Hatterene. Does it? Is it GG's? No, yeah, sorry, this is locked into Psychic, so it can't threaten Grim. So I'm just going to be Thunderbolting it, and I'm going to crunch because it's the strongest. A Stomping Tantrum, and I'm going to crunch because it's the strongest. Or maybe I should be doubling the Dragalge. Probably should have doubled the Dragalge. GG's! Okay. Phew! Okay, CB. I'm just going to ask whether they want to VC. Yeah, really tied series, really tied series. Yeah, the Palafin adaptation was good, but you know I had a strong thing for it, so yeah, we will be VCing. It's crazy. That's the bravest turn to game 2 lead, you know. I'm glad I brought Doug. Doug is a really solid mon. I think I played pretty reasonably. I think I brought the right amount of offense. Obviously, Trick wound up being quite good game 1. It's like it started by reducing Hatterene's damage output. G'day.
Can you hear me?
I can. You're a bit quiet.
Let me see.
All right. Do you want to try talking again? I've turned your volume up in my system.
Okay. How about now?
Still a little bit quiet, but definitely an improvement. I will just turn down the audio from my music. So hopefully...
Okay, I don't know what can I do on my end.
Screaming, probably. Okay.
Better?
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good. Awesome. Okay, so... you have a crazy team. You have a crazy team. I mean, I think that's true for most people in this division. I think that my team is, like... been really scared of every team that I've been running into. And I think you... Sorry, you were saying something.
No, I was saying that your team is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt like I had to bring some pretty consistent, consistency-minded prep, thing. And I I felt like you made a lot of like really, I don't know, ballsy, very aggressive plays, especially after seeing my Doug Rotom lead game 1, then bringing Palafin lead game 2 was just crazy.
Yeah, that was actually my thought process, that I wasn't bringing Palafin ever, so might as well try.
Okay, yeah. No, it definitely obviously wound up working out for you. The Terra Plus Palafin as well, very, very strong. I was half expecting you to me.
The choice band was a problem, that Grimmsnarl just OK'd my full team.
Yes, the offensive Grimmsnarl was good. I mean, it didn't OK'd like anything on your team, except Salazzle, but it 2-killed everything.
Yeah.
Except probably the bulk up Grim, Palafin. Game 2, I was really that like modest Salazzle, very, very strong.
Yeah. It was got, like, also Terrafire, but
yeah, because it got a roll into my Hatterene turn 1, and it's like, okay, this is a difficult situation.
Yeah, I can send you the paste.
Oh yeah, I can send you mine as well.
Sorry, it's this one.
I wound up wishing I'd invested more in special defense, though. Let's see if my speed was a reasonable investment. Wow, you are an incredibly slow Palafin.
Yeah,
would that Palafin have lived my Rotom?
I think so.
I know I had Terra for the purpose of dealing with like bulkier versions of Palafin. At level 100 it definitely does. So you were 252.84 with offensive investment, offensive nature, not defensive one. So it would have been a roll, 43.8% chance to KO without a helping hand or a Terra. Okay, wow, this is a wavy set. Bulk up hard Terra Blast. So yeah, if you want Terraing it, he was in a really rough situation. But with Terra, it's pretty scary. I never got rock slide.
Yeah, actually, I put a lot of speed in my mons just to try to speed creep with the tailwind, a lot of stuff. But Goldengo didn't come, which was like the main breakpoint I was looking for.
Yeah, well, Goldengo felt really bad into your team.
Maybe, yeah.
I felt like after last week, where my opponent clicked Terra once and then basically could ignore my Goldengo all game, that you had a team comp that could do a very similar sort of deal. Mudshot on Dragalge, okay. Is that the speed drop one?
It was, yes. With the speed, with a Mudshot, it outspeed Goldengo, so it was like an out if I didn't have Tailwind.
Very powerful. It's interesting, game 3, the very ballsy play you made was going for Fake Out into Dugtrio.
Yeah, at that point, I couldn't do anything else. I just had to bank that you didn't go with Terra Ghost.
Well, the other thing is you didn't know what his item was. Yeah, how did I sash? You didn't know what item I was, so I could well have been Covert Cloak as well, was the other thing. Oh yeah, game 1, I was worried that you were going to KO me with Reckless Brave Bird right at the end, but obviously you weren't Reckless. Yeah. Nope. Calc is scaring me. But yeah, your game 2 play punished me trying to switch up to a different lead, though the Doug Rotom lead wound up just being very consistent.
Yes. Yeah, I was... That Rotom... I've been having trouble with a lot of Rotoms with my team. So
I'm not shocked.
Definitely an issue.
I think I had probably the worst Rotom into your team, and it still was pretty scary. Yeah, a lot of Terrafire. I definitely was glad to have brought Dugtrio into this game. I'm really happy to have done stuff with him.
Also, didn't get to...
You didn't get to...
No, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm on the fence about whether to make Dugtrio or Rotom my logo thumbnail for the video.
I'd say Dugtrio. I mean, I knew there was a big chance that it was coming since I had like 3 poison types and a Palafin. But I don't know. I thought I could get through it anyways.
To be fair,
Staraptor and stuff like that.
I don't know if I was thinking about it as much for Toxapex or Tadino as I was thinking of it to trap Palafin, Ting-Lu, and Hatterene. Because they're Pokemon that are very strong if they can switch, and are less strong if they cannot switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually, you'll see this in the video, but I had, and in the paste I sent you, I had Terra Ground on Doug, and I'm like, wait, that's just wrong. Why is the Doug Terra Ground? I forgot to make it. I forgot to set a Terra type on it. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have a specific Terra type I want to set. Therefore, Ghost is just like the good default into any team with Fake Out.
Yeah, and that was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. The Hoppip not being able to pop off, I find is very sad.
So was that a roll on Hoppip? Because
32%.
I was like max attack with the charcoal.
Yes,
and...
yes, you were. That's true. Yeah, Hoppip is very good. For context, against Purple Rain, I brought a Hoppip that lived a Fake Out into a Moonblast with Covert Cloak instead of EV All-Light. Hoppip is very bulky. You may not think 35, 40, 55 is bulky, but it turns out 55 is actually a really good special defense stat, and you can just make anything absurdly bulky if you want to. It's crazy. Nice. But yes, so let me bring up the funny calc. Level 50, gotta give it Heat Wave, gotta give it Modest, and Charcoal. And then I was like, okay, well that's heartbreaking. Yes, so yeah, there's the roll. And I was like, okay, I wish I'd run more thing. I went for Sleep Powder into Salazzle. I don't know if that was necessarily the best outcome play, to be fair. Yeah, the charcoal damage was crazy, because, there's no way that Hoppip was dying without that charcoal there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Yeah, it had a chance of living Flamethrower with just Modest. Hoppip is a monster. People... if I had Cloister instead of Loser and Skiploom, can you imagine how much I could do with an extra 20 in defensive stats?
Yeah.
It's like, was it 20 more base HP and then 10 more defense and 10 more special defense? That would be like I think that could be considered a war crime. But yeah, I wound up eschewing Tailwind this match, and I am kind of on the fence about that decision. Helping Hand was pretty important for a Terra Tauros getting an Oko into Hatterene. And I was really worried in
nice.
prep about you setting Trick Room with the there were two like big leads next to Hatterene. I was really concerned about being the Salazzle lead, which is why I have the Helping Hand and the Covert Cloak. But then there's the Staraptor lead, because with Intimidate I couldn't then prevent the Trick Room. But you end up obviously going with that Tailwind thing, and yeah, Hatterene wound up getting really hard.
Choice picks Hatterene does a lot of damage.
The Draining Kiss,
unsurprisingly.
the Draining Kiss KOing Toxtricity actually surprised me a little. I wonder what the role there is, but you know, obviously, because I had a decent bit of HP on Tox and it did resist. These sets are all Carmines, not specs. I'll have to run specs manually. But yeah, like the set in Calc is like max defense almost, and I was pretty concerned about it. Okay, so you had 140 special attack, and I can, through cheating, know exactly what percentage I was at. Though let me make sure I save replays because I don't want to forget them.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay. When you say you got them, yeah. I'll just put it so that we can post it when I release the video, which will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
A bit later than what the time is now. But yeah, beyond that, was there anything interesting that I brought or that you thought was besides obviously the Choice Band Grim wound up being pretty effective? I just was really scared of your team, so I had Trick on everything.
Yeah, the trick the first game, it just, I mean, I ended up with the choice specs Ting-Lu, and it's just which
I was like,
not ideal.
Oh, this choice specs is very interesting. I kind of like that as leftovers. That said, it still wound up being an incredibly close game. It turns out, you know, yeah, I was kind of tempted in prep to put sub on Dugtrio. I didn't wind up using Helping Hand, but I still think Helping Hand was the correct bring. Wow, I didn't even click Protect with Doug all of game 3. That's crazy.
Yeah, because you just could kill stuff, I guess.
Yeah, well, I know I switched it basically immediately. Game, like turn 1, yeah, it was like, okay, if you fake out into Rotom, it's bad. But if you fake out into Doug, there's a chance I just get a Rock Slide flinch. Even if you fake out into Rotom, there's a chance I get a Rock Slide flinch anyways. I assume you went for Tailwind there?
Yes.
I'm surprised you didn't fake out the Rotom, though.
I actually was more scared of you killing Salazzle than Staraptor, so I was expecting more a Tantrum or more an Earthquake or something.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess Dragalge and Hatterene would have been faster than Grim with Tailwind, but not faster than Tauros, and not faster than Scarf Rotom, and not faster than Dugtrio, right?
With Tailwind, my team was faster than everything except Noivern and Dugtrio, and I guess Scarf Rotom.
Oh, okay. So it would have been faster than at base
Tauros,
54 to 108. That doesn't sound right.
Oh well, not Hatterene, but everything
Not
else, I guess. I don't remember. Yeah, I played this team.
Okay, I was like, surely Hatterene's not. You know, that you don't have a lot of speed invested in that. Tauros, funny Tailwind button. Yeah. Was not clearing that. It was Dragalge. Was Dragalge actually making it? Because Dragalge, you know, you said you had the break point of being faster than Goldengo, which is a lot slower than Tauros.
Goldengo, yeah.
That's level 100 Dragalge. Probably not that. And then you were 44, was it? That's my team.
That's
44?
70, it would mean 140. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So you were slower than Tauros. Okay, yeah. So the thing I said was correct. You wound up being slow. Would have wound up being slower than Grimmsnarl, which would have been very impactful because Grim did get a lot of value out of being fast. But you would have still been slower than Tauros, Doug, and Scarf Rotom. Scarf Rotom was a funny guy. It definitely paid dividends. Salazzle was scary.
Yep.
That charcoal heat wave did way more damage than I would have expected. And like I put it in calc and it's like, oh, it's modest charcoal heat wave. That's right. I accidentally just closed the music. That was an accident. It's modest charcoal heat wave. That's right. I have like a massive speed gap here.
Exactly. Yeah, because I wasn't faster than your faster mons, and I was way faster than your next speed tier. So
it's such like a.
Actually, it lines up with Modest, it lines up exactly to be 1 or 2 points faster than Tauros. So
yeah, I think it's 2 points
just
at max.
was
Yeah. But yeah, obviously you also had Palafin and Staraptor hitting at base 100, and you did commit to that with Staraptor, and I think you wound up losing a speed tie in game.
Yeah, but
1.
that one wasn't. That didn't matter. At the end.
Yeah, because Hatterene was still slower, like we discussed. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, so Tailwind wouldn't have gotten Hatterene there. So I definitely made the right plays game 1, because I was, on that turn, I was super 50-50 over whether Grimmsnarl should be targeting Hatterene or Tauros should be targeting Hatterene. And it was definitely wound up being correct that for Tauros to target Hatterene. Because if I hadn't won the speed tie, or if I'd got tied the other way around, you would have gotten Tailwind up and I would have just lost. So, okay, I played game 1 to the correct outs, even if I wasn't identifying those exact ones. Especially because Hatterene was Scarf in game 1.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that it
with
was
the
Scarf.
with the Tailwind, I would be faster. Yeah.
I remember I had a game where I brought a Choice Scarf Escavalier in Tailwind to outspeed Latios.
Oh right, yeah. That's crazy.
There's look, the slow guys when you are like stacking 1.5 and then a 2x as well, and you're like 3 times speed. It's kind of fast. But yeah, ultimately this was a crazy series. It wound up being super close, and I was pretty happy with high prep. But you kept making like crazy plays and had really strong prep as well. It was just I think game 1. That's right. Yeah, you brought Ting-Lu when you went for Psychic with Hatterene.
Yeah, but I expected the focus sash, so I didn't really care that it wasn't an Oko without with the Vessel of Ruin. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So all of that. Vessels of Ruin are really challenging to prep for. I am not excited for when I wait. Only one of your Pokemon had a nickname, and it was the nickname I gave my Palafin.
Yeah, you know
what the? It's like wait. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it. I should have noticed it. Obviously, game 1, none of your Pokemon were nicknamed. I didn't notice it. But yes, there's good old Madrid. Back on the world tour. Whereas my Pokemon nicknames now are firmly in Australia. But yeah, thanks for chatting. Thanks for playing. It was a crazy fun series.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for the games.
I think you'd missed out on playoffs last week, was it, or was this? Did I knock you out?
Now I'm 2-4, so yeah, probably I'm out now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a crazy close thing where it's like, okay, if I don't win this game or next game, then I am super at risk of getting knocked out. So, sorry it had to be you, but you know what? I'll do my best to make sure it's Sam as well. So thanks everyone for watching. This has just been an absolutely incredible season, and thanks so much to Jay for hopping on.
Bye. Yeah.